Week 29, day 6. We come to the end of our reading this week by looking at the narratives as well as some of the story that continues by the prophet Isaiah. And so we start with Isaiah chapters 36 and 37, 2 Kings chapter 18, verses 9, from 9 to the end of chapter 19, verse 37. 2 Chronicles 32 through 1 through 23, and Psalm 76. It seems like a lot of reading, but it goes by very quickly. Here we return to the story about King Hezekiah, one of Judah's greatest kings. Remember when we were reading last time that it said that he did what was right in the Lord's sight, just as his ancestor David had done. Well, here we get to see that. Earlier, we saw that he started reforms that brought people back into hearing God's word. Well, Hezekiah faced a couple of challenges during the course of his rule. The first of those was the threat of the Assyrian nation under Sennacherib. Now, you might remember that I believe it was last week we were reading how the Assyrian Empire, which was north of the kingdom of Israel, and they had done raiding parties, and Israel had paid tribute to them and all of that. But eventually, the Assyrian nation came through and beat them, destroyed them, took those 10 tribes of Israel, scattered them across, and that's why we have the 10 lost tribes. Well, the Assyrians are now knocking at the kingdom of Judah's door, and Hezekiah has to figure out what to do. They've witnessed just 7 years earlier how they were able to destroy their brothers and sisters as a nation to the north. And from the human perspective, the odds seem overwhelmingly in favor of the Assyrians. But when we face times of trial, when we face times when it just seems like we can't possibly overcome, it's important to remember that God is on our side. And no human force, no matter how big or how strong or how advanced, can overcome our God. And that's what we're reminded of here in the readings today. What are you facing today? What challenges are on your hearts, on your shoulders, in your head? Turn them over to God and know that God is capable of all and more than any of the challenges, any of the struggles that we're facing today. Have a great weekend.